Hello, welcome to the Manosphere Paradigm, the channel where we learn to level up in health, wealth, relationships, and hobbies. Thanks for I see SOCL popped into the comments. Thanks for for reaching out and getting some clarity. But today's stream, I'm going to be reviewing a topic that Tomassi, Rollo Tomassi highlights in his book, The Rational Male. It is a book that's been out for years now, and a lot of the things that he discusses, I've gotten my copy, and I've been going through the book, and I'm getting to the point where I'm seeing so much similarities that unfortunately is not going out to style when it comes to the way men deal with women, and a lot of things that men still do, thinking that it's going to help them to win with women. So on tonight's channel, or at least on tonight's video and live stream, we're going to be talking about why you should not and why you should stop negotiating desire. It's something that we as men try to do when we've started in a relationship, things are hot and fiery, and then somehow down the road she switches, she maybe turns cold and start testing you a bit more, and then things is not back to where you used to have the relationship, or where the interaction was for you to obviously being able to take it forward, and then you start panicking, and then that is kind of like where a lot of guys show their hand by becoming nervous and then running and chasing and trying to negotiate desire. So again, this is the Manosphere Paradigm, the channel where we learn to level up in health, wealth, relationships, and hobbies. I've been covering a lot of relationship topics because it's something that the guys enjoy watching, but I am going to be touching on other ventures that I'm also trying and to get up on its feet. I'm going to, when it comes to wealth, when it comes to health, and when it comes to the hobbies. So without further ado, I want to get into tonight's live stream, and I want to basically, as I said, stop trying to negotiate desire with Rollo Tomassi at the Rational Male. I'm going to just share my screen with you guys, where you guys can have a look as to, you can go to his channel, you can check it out, The Rational Male. You can also go onto his website, which is the rationalmale.com, and you're going to go check it out, subscribe to his newsletter, go to his channel, subscribe. A lot of these topics, a lot of these things I have myself. I am 41 years old. I've gone through a lot of these things, and I could never coin it or put it down, and find literature that could assist and just guide me through this. When I went through it back in the day. So it is great to discover this type of repo content. And now, over the last 3-4 years that I've become Red Pill aware, I've gotten to this thing of basically seeking out content to learn, to grow. So let me just get into sharing my screen with you guys. Added to this. There we go. It is The Rational Male. That is his channel. You can go and get his book. He's got 4 books out, quite a few, I believe. And on the right-hand side, you can see it's The Rational Male. It's Rational Male Preventative Medicine. You've got Rational Male Positive Masculinity. And then you've got The Rational Male Religion. So I've got my Rational Male. And I'm definitely getting the rest of the copies to build up my library, and always have it on hand to be able to reference when it comes to being able to just talk about things and help guys within the manosphere. Rollo Tomassi is considered as kind of a godfather within the manosphere, and shout out to him. But I've recently watched where he was on the Fresh and Fit podcast, and I saw them have a discussion when it comes to just female nature and the manosphere in general. And this topic again came up when it comes to negotiating desire. And I thought it would be a great opportunity to be able to just talk about it and elaborate it, and also give my own personal experience over the years as to what I've experienced. So yeah, let me get into it and scroll down. There we go. So to start things off, it clearly says you cannot negotiate desire. Guys, it's something we all try to do, but let me get into it and you'll get an idea as to why it says that you cannot negotiate desire. And also, you also see yourself in many a times or any time that you have interacted with women going through this. It's not very long. It basically, you will find yourself going back in your mind to certain instances where you've dealt with women and you've been in a relationship and you may have done certain things, and you thought it was rational, it was the right thing to do, but that is not the way attraction works, and that is what this snippet or this small article is all about. So this is a very simple principle that most men and the vast majority of women are woefully ignorant of. One, the most common personal problems I've been asked advice for in the past 10 years is some variation of how do I get her back? Now, guys, we've probably been in that situation many a times when you maybe been in a relationship with a woman and she rejected you. For whatever reason, things gone cold, and you get to a point where you feel, oh, I'm losing her and I need to do something. So that is where that question, we all know that question, how do I get her back? If you are good with female, with women, and you never had that question, ask yourself that question, it's something I think every guy has experienced. Some of them depends on where you are when it comes to how confident you are about yourself and how much of an abundant mindset you have, how much that impacts you to get to that point to ask that question. But we'll go on. Usually this breaks down into men seeking some methodology to return his relationship to an earlier state where a previously passionate woman couldn't keep her hands off him. 6 months into a comfortable familiarity, and the thrill is gone. But in truth, it's the genuine desire that is gone. So that is one of the ultimate things when it comes to desire. That is the one thing that, and I will put it up, the genuine desire is gone. That it's like a gut feeling as a guy. You will feel it in the relationship. Now, obviously, it is not communicated, but in a behavior, you can pick it up and you say to yourself, things are not the same. I'm losing her. She's entertaining, maybe talking to, in today's day and age, talking to other guys online, entertaining conversations, posting a bit more photos of her, a bit more very revealing, kind of thirst trapping. So you obviously, as a guy, pick these things up. Back in the day, we had social media, but to an extent, you see entertaining other men, having conversations with them, and that is when that gut feeling basically hits you, and you understand, I am losing her. So if I go back into it, it's often at this stage that a man will resort to negotiation. I myself, my career that I'm in is logistics and supply chain management. I am well aware when it comes to negotiation, and I thought when I dealt with women in the past and in my past relationships that it would be a good thing for me to have. Now, obviously, if you're in a relationship and you're negotiating things back and forth and getting the best result, I obviously come at it with a strategic mindset in getting what I want out of the negotiation, understanding what I want out of before I go into negotiation. But my career path and my job as being a commercial and logistics and supply chain manager is where I thought will help me and that skill set when it comes to dealing with women. But that is definitely not the case. So to go back into it, sometimes this can be as subtle as him progressively doing things for her in the hopes that she'll reciprocate with the same sexual fervor that they used to have. Other times, a married couple may go to marriage counseling to resolve their sex issues and negotiate terms for sexual compliance. He will promise to do the dishes and a load of laundry, and more often in exchange for her feigned sexual interest in him. Yet, no matter what terms are offered, no matter how great an external effort he makes, so deserving of reward, the genuine desire is not there for her. In fact, she feels worse for not having the desire after such efforts were made for her compliance. That is just cringe. Um, you know, if you look at the relationship, when it comes to a long-term relationship, when it comes to a marriage, if you're in both scenarios and not in a single, but you with a woman, you are exclusive. If it comes to a point where she is not giving you sex anymore and you are not enjoying that intimacy, that to a guy is the biggest red flag on the biggest alarm bell that things is not right. So if she's the one that is curbing you and blocking you and making excuses, then you know that there's obviously an issue, and you are gonna catch it out very soon. And when I say L, I'm referring to you're going to catch a loss. You're gonna it's not gonna be a win. So in a long-term relationship, you can pick up and feel that she's entertaining other guys, talking to other guys, and you know that as much as you try to do things around the house, maybe you're moving together, and you live together, that is what you've done. You have now basically given up her ability to wonder what you are up to, knowing that you're on your purpose because she can see your every move that you are doing, and she can see that you are focused on her, and that is off-putting to a woman that is not committed to a marriage with you. So, and again, to a guy that's in a marriage, the woman basically starts cutting him off, not giving him sex or having intimacy with him. He knows that's a red flag. Maybe even worst case scenario, she starts entertaining other guys. Social media today is so easy. I've seen it in my circles. I've seen it in my life, where married women will go outside and they will entertain things. They'll find themselves in a situation, and then it's a matter of oops. If you are that guy, you find yourself where your woman has maybe cheated on you, long-term relationship, or in a marriage, you need to, as we say, and we all will unanimously say in the manosphere, and myself included, is you walk away. Even it is when a man cheats or goes outside of the relationship, it is not the same as a woman doing the same thing, because a man can still go out and come back and be able to love his woman. That is obviously dependent more on the fact that he is a higher value man, and the likes of the Kevin Samuels and a lot of the other content creators talks about high value men being on a certain level income wise, also being that man that has a certain order, that he walks into a room, there's the respect for the competency that he brings to whatever arena or career that he is involved. That is something that people respect. He connects and networks with others. There's a whole plethora of things that makes up a high value man. So we can't have these broke guys running around calling themselves high value men. But to stress my point, if the man, a lot of guys believe if there's trouble in the relationship and the issues is stemming from where the woman is growing cold to him, not giving him sexual intercourse, or having sexual intercourse, because one of the big things we understand within the manosphere is the fact that a woman controls the access to sex and a man controls the access to a long-term relationship and marriage. So a lot of men, they give up this control and they believe that the woman is in control all the way, and basically they just go along with getting what they can get. But a lot of men that's in the manosphere, that's on their purpose, doing their thing, knows that a woman's ability and her level of control stops at where of how much she controls sex, and she is the one that can ultimately say yes or no to the sex. But when it comes to a long-term relationship and marriage, a man is the one that decides, you know what, you've proven yourself and I want to go into that relationship. But if you find this type of scenario where the woman is not putting out essentially, and you are now saying, you know what, let's go to marriage counseling, let's go talk and have someone else just help us to work this through. A guy is thinking, you know what? We're going to this marriage counseling, and this is going to help for her attraction to level to go back up, so that we can go back to normal where we were so in love, and things is going to be a for away, and we're going to be like back to where we were. That is not the way it works. You as a man, there's maybe certain things that has put her off in the relationship. You've maybe gotten out of shape. You've not focused on your purpose and getting your money up constantly and pushing yourself and putting yourself out there. You're just sitting at home. You're on the couch. You're not going out, meeting people, living your life. If you've got kids, involved with them, getting into hobbies. I know a lot of times there's life hits us where we're tired. But if we want to achieve certain things and get extraordinary results out of the normal mediocre, there's certain excuses that we cannot continue to make. So as a man, you may have dropped your standards and may have made her your everything, and that's one of the issues that gets you into this scenario or this situation where you have made your wife and your woman your world. There's nothing. She's your everything. And you know what? She's the one that's dictating your happiness in a sense to you. You as a man, before you met her, you had your life, and she saw in you that there's something in you that's different. You were cut above the rest. She came into your world. You built something together, and now you're committed. You're in a marriage, and you are building together, because a marriage is the best environment for children to be brought up in, with both two-parent household. Now you've built, but now you started dropping your standards, and you're not putting in the hard work. You're not carrying the burden of performance that I've mentioned in the previous live stream, and you are basically just thinking, you know what, she loves me for me, and you have fallen for this. She will love me unconditionally. So before I get into that a bit further, let's go into continue with this live stream and basically complete it and go through it in its entirety. So just the last line I'll read again. In fact, just no matter what terms are offered, no matter how great an external effort he makes so deserving of reward, the genuine desire is not there for her. In fact, she feels worse for not having the desire after such efforts were made for her compliance. Negotiated desire only ever leads to obligated compliance. I will say that again. I've mentioned fact 2, men think logically and start negotiating desire, and that is what I just explained to you. That's fact number 2. And now I'm going to move on to fact number 3. Negotiated desire only ever leads to obligated compliance. So when a woman feels that she is basically now forced into if you guys think, you know what, I'm going to go to marriage counseling, we're going to work it out there, and we're going to come back, things going to get back to normal. She basically feels she's being forced into something. She's being forced and pushed into being able to give a body. Now, if you are Christian, it is a commandment for both the men and the women to give their bodies to their husband. But we live in today's modern time, modern thinking, and women kind of get this way. But it's because of the internal wiring, internal circuitry that if the genuine desire is not there, and how is the genuine desire there? That the man is, number one, on his purpose. He's well groomed. He looks after himself. He keeps in shape. He stays on his purpose. He keeps on networking, socializing, being someone that adds value to other people's lives. He has a small circle. He contributes to that circle. He builds that circle, and it is an edifying relationship he has with other men. He can be held accountable, blow off steam to them. And if you find yourself in a circle where you are not being edified, you constantly being the one that's pushing and discussion to be able to talk about certain things and look past, as we call it in the manosphere. We always refer to the matrix, and I will always say, if you look at the matrix, you'll see the 1s and 2, the binary code that trickles down. I always say, in a phrase that I will say, you will look past the 1s and the 0s, and you will see the patterns that exist. And the patterns in this case is that You cannot force a woman. She needs to, that desire she had to want to be in a relationship, to respond to your first message, to agree to go with you on that date, and to get to the point of where you've basically taken an attraction to such a height that she wants to have validational sex with you. All of that, those points and those decisions she makes, she wants to get back and wants to constantly be reminded of why you are the prize for her, and she knows that she got something that not all women have. But if you become a slob, you don't care about your fitness, you get overweight, you become obese, you don't worry about pushing yourself in learning new things, getting your money up, always trying to push yourself, pushing your income, exposing yourself to new things, challenging yourself. If you are not doing that as a man, things will deteriorate and she will lose her attraction to you, because if you are not maintaining all of those things, you will not have that abundance mindset when she starts shit testing you and start being on your case. When she is rude, disrespectful you, we will eat it up, because you know what? You're overweight, you are not on top of your game, and you will accept what you can. You don't want to lose her. But if you're on your game, you know you can walk away anytime. It's not, you're not threatening that verbally, but in your behavior, in your abundance mindset, when you receive disrespect or you being shit tested, you make sure to pass those shit tests with flying colors. You don't have to point it out and make a big thing about it. You can just blow it off, pass it. But when it moves into disrespect, you need to check that. And if you don't, you're gonna start losing more frame, and over a period of time, she's gonna be out of there. So to go further, this is why her post-negotiation sexual response is often so lackluster and the source of even further frustration on his part. So she's being forced. So now the performance and the effort that she puts into it is mediocre. The guy knows that it is mediocre. He doesn't enjoy it himself, because he knows he's forcing something, and he also gets frustrated. She may be more sexually available to him, but the half-hearted experience is never the same as when they first met, when there was no negotiation, just spontaneous desire for each other. So when things are more spontaneous, why? Because you are who you're supposed to be. You are keeping her accountable, and you are the guy that she has fallen for, and you constantly remind her, not by saying it to her, but she's seeing that you are on your purpose, doing your thing, you are putting time out for her, you spend time with her, and you have that quality time. But then you also shift over your mindset, get into your purpose, in the things and adventures and business things that you are doing, your hobbies. You focus on those things as well, because those are the things that attracted her to you originally. So there's an equation that goes further. From a male perspective, and particularly that of an undated beta male, negotiation of desire seems a rational solution to the problem. Men tend to innately rely on deductive reasoning, otherwise known as an if-then logic stream. The code is often something like this: I need sex, plus women have sex I want, plus query women about their conditions for sex, plus meet prerequisites for sex equal the sex I want. So you're thinking, talking to women, asking them what they want out of a relationship, what they want in a relationship, what they themselves most of the time will never give you a straight answer, and it will always be a different answer. Why? Because they are emotional beings, and what they want switches and chops and change from whatever mood, day to day, from on the hour, every hour. So you never ask a fish how to fish, you ask a fisherman. So stop asking ladies and stop asking men. I made a mistake in the past. I thought, you know what, if this is something to deal with the relationship with women, you know what, I'll ask a female friend, or someone that is maybe a female that is older, and that maybe is married, whatever, you ask them some questions and thinking, you know what are the things that will have me or put me in a position to win with women? What are the things they want? You always get a PC related answer as to buy her flowers, do this, chase her, all those wonderful things. And all of it, gentlemen, I'm going to tell you, it is cap. Because at the end of the day, they will never tell you what truly turns them on, what truly attracts them, because it is not PC correct, and it is not something that everyone wants to admit. Because the things an example, if you look at guy, oh, I want you ask a lady, I want a nice guy, I want a guy that's sensitive, that's in touch with his emotion, blah 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 blah. Who does he end up with? Johnny, Chad, Tyron, and Pookie, and Ray Ray, and whatever else. And then you're like, what the? I thought, no. They'll tell you that they want a guy that's level-headed, a guy they can trust, a guy that's only there for them, blah, blah, blah. Actually, what they want is they want to have that roller coaster of emotion. And when you provide that roller coaster of emotion to them, that is something that piques their interest and raises their attraction. What is the roller coaster that you're providing? Well, firstly, you are on your purpose, which means you are not prioritizing her. And what are you doing? Always checking on WhatsApp, always online on social media, chatting to her. What you doing? How was your day? Blah. No, you are busy. You've got a life to live, and you got things to do. So when you have time, you maybe pop in, whatever. And when you do pop in, are you available? What you doing this day, Saturday, whatever? This time, I'm going there. Do you want to go for whatever? Blah. Go for drinks. Whatever the case may be, you tell her where you're going to go, what she needs to dress, what is the type of dress code, and basically you tell her where you're going. You leading. Where and how also are you providing a roller coaster? She tells you, you know what, that doesn't work for me. Why don't we do Tuesday? Because I've got this, that, and the other. You always decline and say, I'll let you know, and I'll get back to you. You get back to her maybe a week or two later, and then you basically tell her again, I'm going there. This is what you want. You want to go, yes or no? She gives the excuse again without giving you an alternative to say, look, I really want to see you. Can we do Sunday afternoon, late afternoon, go for drinks, sundowner, and blah, blah, blah. If she gives you that option, she is interested. If she doesn't give you and tell you, I'll get back to you, you move on. So you need to provide that constant reassurance that you're a guy that is confident, then you maintain frame. And also when you are in a relationship, when she is testing you, you are always passing those with flying colors, and you don't tolerate disrespect. If you get it, you basically walk away. That shows you have an abundance mindset, and that is something that is attractive to them, and then and in turn is going to keep them from, you know what, this guy's not like everyone else. He is not pandering to me. He's not wanting to make sure that I feel comfortable. He basically doesn't care because he's living his life. He's not disrespectful. It's just that he's living his life. That is what he's about. He likes me, but I need to get onto his program. If not, fine. That is what they are looking for, gents. They are not looking for a wet wipe that is constantly messaging them, telling them they're beautiful, liking each and every photo on Instagram, on social media. No, that is what a simp does. That is a simp is the modern day version of a modern woman. And I spoke about that in the previous stream as well, and I'll elaborate a bit further in future streams. So again, I'll go over it. The equation goes, I need sex plus woman have the sex I want, plus query women about their conditions for sex, plus meet prerequisites for sex equals the sex I want. Doesn't work that way, gents. So doesn't make sense? It's simple economics, but built on a foundation that relies on a woman's accurate self-evaluations. and I'm never going to be honest with you guys. So that basically debunks that immediately. So the definite desire, the genuine desire that they used to experience at the outset of their relationship was predicted was predicated upon a completely unknown set of variables. So the desire, like I said, they want you to take them on this journey, and you cannot be, I'm here for you no matter what, and from the outset give them that level of comfort. Why? Because now she knows she got you, she has you. But if you constantly, you talk less, let her talk about herself, you get to know each other, let things flow naturally, stop blowing up her phone, when am I seeing you next? She needs to ask you when you see seeing you next. And if she doesn't, you keep on dating other ladies and keep that abundance mindset so that she can pick that up and know that, you know what, he's not a thirsty guy. He got options, and a woman wants a man that other woman wants. They don't want a man that comes off the bat and tells them, "You my everything, and I will never leave you." That's what a simp does, and a desperate guy does. So the genuine desire they used to experience at the outset of the relationship was predicated upon a completely unknown set of variables. Overtly communicating a desire for reciprocal desire creates obligation and sometimes even ultimatums. So you thinking, you know what, disclosing that you like a woman, telling her about it, all the some things that woman would tell you to do. I myself have done it in the past. I'm guilty of it. I've knocked my head into a brick wall, and the level of embarrassment and rejection that I felt, you know what? It's a good experience. You learn, and then you run into certain content that, like Rollo Tomassi's. Again, shout out to Rollo Tomassi, the Godfather. You run into content like his. There's also the unplugged of the unplugged alpha male. I think it's yeah. What's the other guys? There's also AMS alpha male strategies. A lot of this content will basically things that you've experienced, things you have seen in real life, and will lay it out. And I run into these types of examples, and I say to myself, wow, for him to have recognized it and put it in book form was so great, because men can always reference back, because it's almost like a life tutorial that you can use to always go back. And if you're struggling with something, maybe sometimes you can be on your game, do your thing, but there's sometimes you have to go back. I can remember, I'll tell my story at the end. You can, so again, overtly communicating a desire for reciprocal desire creates obligation and sometimes even ultimatums. Genuine desire is something a person must come to or be led to on their own volition. You can force a woman by threat to comply with behaving in the desired manner, but you cannot make her want to behave that way. A prostitute will screw you for an exchange. It doesn't mean she wants you. Whether LTR refers to a long-term relationship, whether LTR or a one-night stand, strive for genuine desire in your relationships. So whether you're in a LTR or you met a chick, you're hitting it off, you guys, there's a genuine desire from both of you guys, and things happen. You know what? Always strive to have this. It needs to be reciprocal and it needs to flow. Half of the battle is knowing you want to be with a woman who wants to please you, one who feels obligated, not one that feels obligated to you. So you want to be with a woman who wants to please you, who wants to make you happy. She wants to feel validated with having intimacy with you. A lot of guys I've started to see, and you've started seeing on channels like I'll refer to them as ANP, referring to paying for intimacy, as being the go-to thing that men does, and that's almost like it's a virtuous thing to do because it's a good exchange. That to me shows that you are not someone that can raise a woman's attraction and have genuine desire and have her wanting validational sex other than you paying for something to have transactional sex. Any man that's worth his salt wants a woman that will give him validational sex and not transactional, because the level and the quality is not the same. You will never draw this genuine desire from her by overt means, but you can covertly lead her to this genuine desire. You can be slick about it. You can have comments. You can talk about the way you talk to her, the way you break the touch barrier. You see her comfort level. If you touch her on the arm, on the lower back, you talk to her. You guys are having a good time. You're enjoying each other company. You can then escalate things, push things to the next level, and go about it that way. So the trick in provoking real desire is in keeping her ignorant of your intent to provoke it. So what that means is, it always has to be, as the man, it always has to be your fault. You are the one that pushed it, that escalated it, and now we are in the situation where we are having some monkey double backflips, as Coach Greg Adams would say. You are in the situation, you're enjoying double backflips, you're enjoying each other's company, each other's bodies, and that whole interaction has to be your fault. You blurting out how you feel and wanting to tell her, you know what, trying to get her to be compliant because you've now been vulnerable and you're expecting and thinking that for her to be to give back, reciprocate that feeling, or that is not going to happen. It always has to be your fault. So when you escalate things, you break the touch barrier, you take things forward, you get into a scenario where you can really see that her body language is asking for you to kiss her or wanting to take things further. When you do these things, you do not talk about it. Can I kiss you? Can I kiss you? Can I do this? Can I do this? You have to have the balls to do it. You have to push through the fear of, is he going to reject me? Because that is what a real man does. And myself, in the past, I am not perfect. I don't profess to be perfect. But in the past, I was the one that took the advice of saying, you know what? Let me talk to her, tell her how I feel. And you know what? She's going to tell me, I feel the same. And we're going to be happily ever after. Bruh, stop the cap. Stop doing it. I know you're looking at me. You are laughing and telling yourself, damn, I can remember this chick, that chick, whatever the case may be. I can remember a few. And I always thought to myself, why am I running into this brick wall? And the story I wanted to tell is effectively that's the end of the article. But my story I wanted to relate to this was that I basically, I was in a relationship. We had a great time. Things was hitting, we hit things off. Things were progressing. But then I started talking to some guys online, and I was like, okay. And then the more I was pushing for her to hang out so that we can spend time, she always had something to do and started giving me excuses. And I'll never forget, I actually decided to say to myself, you know what? I'm gonna go. I know I left something at the place, or I had something I had to give back to her. You will find something. Either it's something you forgot at her place. Mind you, when she told the last previous occasion before I saw her, she gave me this whole long speech. She needs space, blah blah blah, and she packed up all my shit, put it in a bag, and gave it back to me. If that wasn't a hint for me to have picked up, I knew my ass was out of there. Weeks later, I am reaching out, and I'm like, okay, give us some space. She'll come around. things gonna be okay. I was so naive, so stupid, as the guys on Fresh and Fit would put on their soundbox, is that I thought, you know what, I'll give her space, she'll come around. We all know in the manosphere that monkey branch happened weeks before I even got the news to, like, it's not you, it's me. You're gonna find someone else. I need space. And then weeks later, I'm still thinking day and night, you know what? I'm gonna push this, we're gonna get back together. And then at the end of the day, weeks later, I'll say 2, 3 weeks later, I'm standing in front of a door, buzzing her, dropping off something she left at my place, and using that as an opportunity to now want to hand us over to her. And you know what? I sat in my car for more than an hour rehearsing what I'm going to say, how I'm going to say it, because if I say it in this way and that manner, she is actually going to understand that, you know what, I made a mistake. This is such a genuine guy, and I'm going to take him back. Bruh. Yo, I laugh about it, but it wasn't funny at the time. I was like, really, like, you know what? If I can just explain it to her, she'll get it. I mean, come on. And I was like, after I did it, she was like, okay, thank you for coming. You know what? I hope you do well, and I'll see you again. Cheers. Bye bye. And close the door behind the gate behind me and just walk back in. And I was like, and I had the huge L in front of my forehead, on top of it. Basically, that was what it was. And I looked like the idiot that I felt at the time. And looking back at it, it's hilarious. I laugh at it now. I was devastated. But you know what? These are the things that helps you to grow. When you experience a certain trauma, it's something that you basically get to where your eyes you open up, and then you start becoming thirsty to understand why these things happen. And as you learn, I actually got a book. I bought a book online, and the title of it was how to get your girlfriend your ex back. That was the title. I remember it as clear as day. And I actually I went online, bought the book, and I had guy friends telling me and laughing at me for buying this book. And you know what? A lot of what was in the book was plain RP disguised, I would say, truths, because what the book was, it took your thirst for wanting to get her back. If I get this book, read this book, I'm going to get her back. But what the book did was, the book basically took you back to understand who you were before her, how your life was and how great it was before her, the type of lifestyle you lived, the type of guy you were, and it reminded you why she actually, if you had a long term relationship, why she fell in love with you, why she liked you, and it took you back to that space or mind space. Well, it took me back there, but the heart obviously was missing and all this feelings and blah blah blah. But as a man, we all appreciate the logical approach that this book took, where it basically helped me to remember that guy. Let me just check the title: How to Get Your Ex Girlfriend. I want to see if I can find this bloody book after so many years. I think it was like 10, more than 10 years ago. I wait. Let me see. Let me just open the first one. Okay, so this is Brad Browning. He's also some dating coach, whatever. But I remember that book. That was the title, and it talked about how to get her back. Like I said, it took you back to understand the guy you were before you met her and how happy you were before. And then it started telling you to it gave you some exercises to do to talk to other chicks, because you tend to find yourself in this distressed space because you now have huge, over 9,000, as we would say, over 9,000 one-nighters. That's all you can see. You can only see her, and your life would be so great if you have her back in your life. But at the end of the day, you know what? I'm seeing some comments. VOH, VOT, FYI, guys. Um, I would say, guys, elaborate. Make you know what? Give me the knowledge. VOH, FYI, VOT, FYI. Some of the acronyms I'm also still learning. So let me know in the comments. Tell me what that means, and then I can probably comment on it. But getting back to my story, and how that, talking about the book I read back then, I took you, number one, to the guy, back to the guy you were, and I challenged you to start doing the things you used to do. I used to enjoy going to the movies once a month. I switch off my phone. I would spend money on getting me a new outfit, a new pair of sneakers, a new jeans, a nice t-shirt. Um, I would go shop. I would go out and basically go to the movies, go check out the latest action movie that was out, get me biggest popcorn, biggest Coke, and have my, I would say, the luxuries, we call it, and edibles, enjoy it, and switch off my phone. My family couldn't find me, my friends couldn't find me. I'm enjoying that movie. I'm stuck in it, and for the next, if it's a 1, 2 hour, 3 hour movie, I'm missing off the face of the earth. If I took a drive, I do the same, and I did that once a month as a single guy. And even if I wanted to have a good meal, I'll take myself out to a nice restaurant, have a good meal, spoil myself, and go out, pay the bill, pay my tip, and go home. There was nothing wrong for me to do that because I enjoyed my own company and I spoiled myself. So I did a lot of those things, and I also reconnected with friends and stopped doing that thing of, when you're in a relationship, you cut off your friends. As a man, you need to have your circle so that you can connect with men. There's a study that was also mentioned by Rollo the last time, that men need a circle to connect with and talk to each other openly, honestly, and find practical and get practical examples and solutions for certain issues and problems they may be experiencing. So always maintain that relationship with guy friends, ones that I would say that advise you, that builds you, not ones that's looking at you as competition and always wanting to make sure that you trying to get something. You always the one inputting into the relationship and not getting anything from them. It needs to be reciprocal. You are being edified, you are building. When you see a business opportunity and you know they can benefit from it, you get them involved, you give them leads, you give them contacts. In the same way, it flows back. I had my sister. She told I spoke about this, and she was like, that's not the way you do it. You can't do big things for people and expect things in return. I said, yes, that's right. But as a man, we tend to do things for each other and build each other, but we expect a level of return from that relationship, because as men, anything that we are giving, we're giving energy, we're giving time, we're giving money. Those are rare and sought after commodities that we covet, and we do not just give that out freely. So when we do give it out, we expect a return. That is the way we are wired. And in my previous live stream, I spoke about men in the way we differ from men to women. But yeah, so getting back to the topic, you cannot negotiate desire. And the story I just told you, and talking about the book that I experienced, you know what? You get to a point where you realize, ultimately at the end, finishing that book and going through that month of going through the exercises they had me do, I realized I got back to the point where you might think she'll never reach out to you, but if you instigate and take on no contact, and she says, give me space, you give her space. And then what's going to happen? Like Kevin Samuels, shout out to Kevin Samuels. What's going to happen is you're going to get heavy head, in your DMs asking you where you been, why you so quiet, blah blah blah. There is not the time to jump on it and to be, oh no, I did this, how you been? Let's do this, let's do drinks. No, that's for her to just check out what you're doing and make sure that she has that secure line that she can always monkey branch to, because the new monkey branch she's probably busy with is not working out so great, and now you're probably good enough again. So it's something that you need to just realize that sometimes they will swing back just to check where you are and make sure you're still there in the friend zone, so that they know that they can always swing back if things is not working at the other end. If you allow yourself to be friend zoned, if you allow yourself to stay there and be treated that way, you deserve it. And as I would call it, here in South Africa, we have a word, we call it the mampara, and in the manosphere, we call him a simp. So stop being a mampara, simp, and basically make sure that you are not the one that is getting yourself in these scenarios when certain things, the desire drop, and you are probably maybe not doing what you're supposed to, and she is basically starting to pull away. Don't panic. Don't get into this defensive type of mindset and wanting to go back and trying to, you know what, let me show her that I'm here for her. Let me show her that I'm always going to be there for her, and show her that I'm this great guy. Stop proving yourself to woman. She needs to realize you are the catch. Why? Because you are. And how do you become the catch? Like I said, by having an abundance mindset. How do you have an abundant mindset? By being the catch, doing the things of investing in and pushing and going after your goals, after your purpose, your grooming, your social skills, building your connections, always getting to know new people, and pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, whether it's a hobby, whether it is something that you are an introvert and you need to talk to others more, and you now maybe have to do more public speaking and you're afraid of doing it. You know what? Get into it. I will tell you, when it comes to YouTube, I looked at my first video that I did 6 months ago, and I couldn't even say Manosphere Paradigm confidently because I was so bloody nervous. But I can tell you now, it is something that I've grown. You can probably look at the channel, you can go through the videos, and you can see how I have grown, how I've become a bit more confident, and I'm getting a bit better day by day as I expose myself, as I learn new things, as I saturate myself, and how can I say, dive into more content and more literature. I'm becoming more wiser. And sometimes you need to also just tell yourself, you know what, I am the prize. You have worked hard to be the guy that you are. We always say in the manosphere that a guy has to create his value and a woman has to preserve her value. So as a man, if you've worked hard, you've built your career, you got yourself up to a certain place, and when it comes to your physique, you've got some guns, you've got something that is not a mediocre, and you don't look like a fat slob. You've looked after yourself, you put in the work, and you're constantly pushing yourself. You know what? If you have a lazy slump, you know what? That's fine. You can get over it and get back at it. It is what it is. You always have to push yourself, and you always have to stop yourself from making excuses. It's something I did for a long time, and I say to myself, I'm going to stop doing it, and I'm going to achieve my goals no matter what. So thanks for coming on to the Manosphere Paradigm live stream today. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for the guys that came onto the chat and gave their responses. I explained to SOCL, I told him that I am just reviewing Rollo because he asked me, who am I meeting with Rollo, because Rollo was going live, and am I having Rollo on the live, and who are you anyway, Manosphere Paradigm? So SOCL, go check out my video. The Manosphere Paradigm is about building men. It's about talking, living life through a RP lens, being RP aware, whether it is in the relationships, whether it is in your health, whether it is in your wealth, when it comes to business, and when it comes to your hobbies, pushing yourself, always getting outside of your comfort zone and not letting society dictate to you and social condition you to just blindly follow things that has been created for you to be a sheep. You have to get out there. I like what Andrew Tate said on the Fresh and Fit podcast the other day. Go check it out. It was a great podcast, and it was some great gems that was dropped in there, where he said that we need to unplug and get out of that slave mindset that keeps us from defending certain things that we won't even, which is not even true or which is not even factually correct, but we will defend something to the death because we place our egos into it, becomes an ego investment, and then we basically stop ourselves from learning the lesson, and we tend to basically then go past into becoming offended and then constantly just trying to defend ourselves because we feel ourselves being attacked. We start throwing ad hominem attacks, we insult the other party, and we disrespect them by thinking less of their opinion, and then we still say, you know what, with all due respect, when you start hearing that line, you know bullshit is coming. So what I will say is that stop having that slave mindset. That is what the manosphere paradigm is about. And the next live stream I'm going to have is going to talk about being plugged in versus being unplugged versus being plugged in. There's a lot of guys that is still unplugging and every day joining the manosphere. And this manosphere is not about joining a fraternity and now looking back at women and basically shitting on women. That is not what it's about. If that is what you think it's about, and tagging the manosphere as these are guys that all in rage, they are now become black pill, they are red pill rage. No, as a red pill aware guy, and as you're looking through life through a red pill lens, you basically understand life and accept life for what it is. You understand that woman is hypergamous and you will always look for the better deal. That is what it is. People will do what's best for them, and people do not like a nice guy. Stop being a nice guy. Be authentic, be congruent, and be who you are, because that is and become a better version of yourself. You have females always saying, I'm good enough, that's fine. We are not female, we are men. We need to create a version that's better than who we are. We are always chasing excellence. That is who you are. If you say, I am happy with who I am, great, you do you. Do not complain when you are not getting the things that men that are successful are getting because they are putting in the work. If you want to be a lazy bum, go for it. Do what you, or at least don't do anything because you want to be lazy, but don't expect to get things out of life because everyone must accept us. That is what women say, and they find out pretty soon once they hit the epiphany phase that that is not the way life works, and then they start running into a hell of a lot of red pill truths about how you lose your value as a man if you are not on a certain level, income level, and pushing yourself, being your best version. If you are a bum, you will not get the best woman. If you are a woman, you are you are not looking after yourself. You are eating too much, and you know what that means. And you basically just stacking on bodies, and you have kids from 5 different guys. Don't expect a guy that's got his life in order to drop everything to look after someone else's kids. Something harsh to say, but a lot of women needs to hear this because everyone believes they're the prize. Men, understand you are the prize. You don't take anyone's BS. But come back again that the manosphere paradigm is all about growing men and connecting with other channels. I'm growing my channel, and I'm constantly going to reach out to other guys to grow and network and basically build this platform so that men can come on and have more discussions. I'm going to be planning some more discussions in the future. And if you want to reach out to me, you've got my email address on my page. Reach out to me and tell me if you want to be part of the next group discussion where I will discuss some topics and you can objectively give me your input and tell me what you think. It is not a platform for you to come on where you can bash women or you can bash the manosphere for voicing our opinion and voicing our standards. This is a neutral platform where we base our decisions and our approach on facts. If you don't like facts and you like feels, we always say it's facts over feelings. So yeah, Gabriella Ford, Sophie Knight, Thanks for the comment. I don't know. I'm gonna put VOH into Google. I'll see what it says. Maybe I should do it now. VOH. What is VOH? The voice of Ho Chi Minh City people. What does VOH mean? It's something about Vietnam. Okay, that's probably not it. VOT. Um, VOT challenge, visual tracking comment. Nope, I doubt that's what it is. So, guys, if you want to be a bit more specific next time, drop me a comment so that I can make sense of it and just give my input and provide some feedback. Sokel, I hope that my explanation and if you go check out my content on the channel, will give you a better idea of what my manosphere paradigm is about. And I hope that you would hit some likes so that the algorithm can hit my content and will throw it in front of some more men because there's we need to save the subs. We understand in the manosphere that we're not going to save everyone. Everyone is not going to be saved. I'm going to basically cover that in the next live stream. Not everyone is going to be saved because, like they say in the Matrix, it comes to a certain point where certain men or certain people in general, when they're too old and they reach a certain age, to be unplugged becomes too dangerous because they're too stuck in their ways and being too conditioned too much. So I will elaborate on that. I will talk about that. And I will hit you with this RP truth because that is what the manosphere is all about. So hit the like, hit the subscribe. I'm looking at my analytics and I'm seeing that 65 to 70% of you guys that is watching my content, that is enjoying my content, you are not dropping a like, you are not subscribing to the channel or contributing in that way. So I'll ask you to please drop a like, drop and hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell as I will becoming more consistent, pushing out content and giving you something that can edify you, build you. And if you see certain things within the manosphere and you'd like me to cover it, drop me an email on the manosphere paradigm at gmail.com so that I can look at it and put something together to provide my response. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's live stream and I'll see you on the next one. I'm out. Cheers.